Hey guys, in today's video I want to show some progressions that are going to improve your kick serve and your slice serve. But before I show you these progressions, I want to give you a quick tutorial on how to hit a kick serve and how to hit a slice serve so you understand the fundamentals of it. So these serves are very similar, but the key difference is how the ball is being struck. So on the slice, the racket will go laterally across the ball, but because the racket is more vertical at the moment of contact, the ball is going to be spinning this way. So the ball is spinning sideways. On a kick serve, however, the angle of the racket face needs to be more severe. It needs to be tilted towards the side so that when we go laterally across the ball, we are making the ball spin this way. So this is a 3/4 spin. It's not a full top spin like you would do on a backhand, for example, where you're going up this way. This is a 3/4 spin that you're applying on your kick serve. You're not going to be able to position the racket completely horizontal like this. So the best that you can do on a kick serve is to angle it off like this, and this results in a 3/4 spin. So that is all you need to know about the slice serve and the kick serve. Now the important question is, how do you make this happen? And this is where progressions are going to help you. So let's start with the kick serve. You are going to try to make the angle of the racket head at the moment of contact take place intuitively. Why? Because the contact with the ball is over milliseconds, and it's very difficult to control the racket at that moment in time or to consciously manufacture the angle of the racket face. In theory, this sounds like a good idea, but when you're hitting the serve fast, this part of the stroke is over so quickly you have absolutely no idea what happened. And the only way you could feel it if you froze the contact point, and then you would actually know how the racket is positioned, but then you wouldn't be able to hit the ball very far. So the first progression on the kick is the following one. We're going to be completely sideways, and we're going to place the racket behind our right ear if you happen to be right-handed. So we're going to make the racket tip point towards the outside, towards the side fence, in other words, behind our back. And from here, we're going to throw the ball into the string. So two things that are happening here. Number one, you are getting more comfortable with a sideways position of the torso, which is going to make that sideways angle of the racket take place more intuitively. You also are getting comfortable making contact further behind, because the flat serve and the slice serve have a contact that's taking place in front of your head. The kick serve or the spin serve is going to have a contact that's taking place on top of your head. So this is somewhat of an exaggeration. So again, you're going to put the racket right behind your right ear. You're going to toss the ball into the strings. You're going to watch the ball as it's flying backwards, and you're going to simply make a lateral movement of the racket where the handle touches your forearm, because you're going to be holding the racket up higher. You're going to make this movement of the racket take place. Let me show you again. I'm going to make the handle touch my forearm, and I'm going to put the ball right into my strings. You can see that I'm able to get topspin on this serve. Just a simple movement is making the ball spin. Now I'm going to repeat this 50 to 100 times until I get comfortable hitting the ball in such a way. So the next progression, you're going to hold the racket normally, and you're still going to attempt to make contact behind your right ear. So again, this is an exaggeration. This is not what would normally happen on a kick serve, but the exaggeration will make the fundamentals of the kick serve feel more natural once you develop them. So here you're going to throw the ball into the same area. You're going to watch the ball, and now you're going to follow through towards your side. You're going to basically try to finish with the racket towards your torso. So again, I'm going to attempt to throw the ball behind my right ear. I'm going to completely stay sideways, and I'm going to finish towards my torso. And again, you're going to repeat this 50 to 100 times so you get comfortable with these elements. You can see, even though I'm not really using my body, I'm getting plenty of spin on this serve. And now the third progression is going to be doing this serve while moving forward. So again, we want to avoid rotation. What happens on a normal kick serve is that, yes, you are sideways at the moment of contact and shortly thereafter, but you do want to open up when the racket starts coming around. You're going to prevent that from happening with these progressions, because the number one problem that recreational players experience on the kick serve is rotating into the contact, which tends to straighten out the angle of the racket face at the moment of contact, and you end up with an accidental slice. So now, because you are going forward, you're not going to throw the ball behind your right ear. You're going to think about throwing the ball right on top of your head. But because you're going forward, you're going to lean a little bit, so the toss actually has to be slightly in front of the baseline. So again, the key here is staying completely sideways on the serve, not allowing my body to rotate, and getting the toss to go in the right direction. You're going to do 50 to 100 of these so you get comfortable. Now, the great thing about these progressions is the following. In the first progression, you already got used to throwing the ball towards your left if you happen to be right-handed, because fact is that on the kick serve, the toss needs to be at least at 12 o'clock. You cannot hit a kick serve at 1 o'clock because that tends to straighten out your racket head. You have to toss the ball at 12 o'clock or at 11 o'clock. And you already got comfortable with that because the first two progressions required you to toss the ball behind your right ear, which is 12 o'clock and slightly more behind than a flat and a slice serve. So then once you get to the third progression, that toss is going to feel more natural to you. So for you guys that are developing the kick serve, I wouldn't even worry about opening up at all. You need to train yourself to stay sideways and just go through these three progressions over and over again until you build the fundamental elements of the kick serve. Okay, now let's get to the slice. Again, we're going to choke up on the racket and we're going to try to make the handle touch our forearm, but we're going to do things differently here. We are going to rotate into the contact and we are going to throw the ball in front, but we're going to throw the ball at 2 o'clock. Now, this doesn't mean that when you attempt a real slicer that you're going to be throwing the ball at 2 o'clock. No, we're going to change the toss later on, but we're exaggerating again. Why? Because we want to make the lateral swing path take place intuitively. So two things that are going to help you with that is the choking up of the racket and you intending to hit yourself in the forearm very softly, okay? Don't go crazy. And also the fact that you're throwing the ball towards 2 o'clock makes the lateral swing path more intuitive. Why? Because when the ball is at 2 o'clock, you're going to approach the ball towards the right, and it's likely that the racket is going to continue going towards the right. In addition to that, you're going to attempt to touch your forearm with the handle, which is going to build the correct fundamentals into your slice serve action. So you're going to do 50 to 100 of these where you're throwing the ball towards 2 o'clock and you're working on that lateral swing path. Remember that you do have to throw the ball in front of your head, then you do have to rotate into the contact. So in the second progression, you're going to hold the racket normally in your continental grip, but you're still going to be throwing the ball at 2 o'clock and you're going to get that lateral swing path to take place intuitively. 2 o'clock toss, and again, when that racket is traveling towards the contact point, it is likely going to continue to travel in that same direction, which will make the slice serve swing path more intuitive. You're going to repeat this 50 to 100 times. In the third progression, you're going to start using your body. So you're going to do everything the same like you normally would on your serve, but the only difference is going to be that you're going to continue to throw the ball at 2 o'clock in the context of a full service motion. And you're going to repeat this 50 to 100 times. Let me try one more. So guys, don't even worry about starting to bring the toss more towards 1 o'clock, because fact is that you do lose a little bit of power when you throw the ball at 2 o'clock, and your serve becomes very easy to read because players are going to pick up on that and then know that a slice serve is coming. So ideally, a slice serve should be struck from 12 or 1 o'clock. It should be disguised. And also, if you make contact between 12 and 1 o'clock, the contact is going to occur more within your body's core and you're going to get more power. However, when you're developing a slice, don't worry about that yet and continue throwing that ball at 2 o'clock. Go through these progressions and you're going to build that so important slice serve swing path intuitively.